The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Imagine you're in a famous rock band, multiple #1 hit songs, sold out arena tours worldwide, and you make the heavy decision to walk away from it all. That's the Coles Notes story of Flat Black's guitarist, Jason Hook. He was once a driving force in Five Finger Death Punch, one of the biggest rock bands of the last decade, platinum records, chart-topping singles, packed arenas. So full respect to Jason for taking the leap and knowing that it was time for him to move on and following his heart. But even though Jason had his time with Five Finger, starting over isn't easy. Finding the right musicians and writing killer songs, creating arena-ready riffs, can lightning strike twice. Jason produced Flat Black's debut album at his home studio and at the Hideout Studio in Vegas. The album itself, Dark Side of the Brain, is big. You could argue it's the rock album of 2024. Massive hooks, amazing vocals. There's 3 or 4 undeniable hits on that album. Jason even got Slipknot's Corey Taylor to sing on Nothing to Some, and more on that in a bit. It was cool to talk to Jason about building the band from the ground up, starting fresh, writing the music during COVID. He told stories from being a kid and playing guitar at 6 years old, his love of Kiss, growing up in Toronto, knows all the Canadian musicians that I know from my time at CFOX, Todd Kearns and Brent Fitz, Theory of a Deadman, Adam Gontier, 3 Days Grace, all of those beauties. So quickly, back to that collaboration with Slipknot's Corey Taylor. How did that come to be? Well, listen to this.
He offered to help. So back in 2020, when I was like lost and didn't know what was going to happen and didn't know what to do, didn't have anyone to help me, didn't have anyone to work with. It's amazing how many people, like as soon as you're not in the cool band, how many people are kind of like, you know, I don't know, you know?
Yeah, you probably know. It's interesting that you see the people that you didn't know were in your corner as well. Like I found that when I got let go from the afternoon show at the rock station here in Vancouver and just started up this podcast. I'm 10 years in now. But when I initially jumped ship from radio to go to podcasts, like I was like, oh, really? Fuck, that guy's not in my corner? That guy is in my corner? I had no idea.
Yeah. I expected
the same, right?
I expected some of that, but
yeah.
There was a little bit of reality check. Like, okay, well, you know, I'm not that important now, but that's fine. It's how I feel about me here. That's all that matters. And so I've been up and down in this business a lot of times, and you just have to remember that that's just the way it is right now. So work your way back out of it, you know? But going back to Corey, I met him, like I was working with his producer in Los Angeles, just messing around with some music with Jay Rustin. And all of a sudden, Corey and I are texting back and forth. And he said, what's your plan? You know, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to try to put a band together, make a record. And I said, but I don't have anyone and there's nobody I'm working with right now. I said, well, listen, send me everything you got and I'll help you. You know, I'll help you. So, I mean, what can I say? He's just a really cool dude.
Yeah, I've heard he's amazing. Like just
amazing. Just a really fantastic human being, and really helped me, not just with music, but my spirit. At that time, nobody wanted to touch me, and you know, I couldn't get anyone really to get on board with this idea. And here's this guy saying, "I'll help you, no problem." So it kind of made me like, fuck, okay, all right, cool. This is, now I feel juiced, you know, really lifted my spirit. And, you know, I'll be forever grateful for that, for him, you know?
Like a Slipknot. It's fucking Corey Taylor, man.
lives 5 minutes down the street from me. And what can I say? Probably the most talented guy I've ever worked with. He just shits out greatness, and I hope he sees that.
Listen to This on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
Have you ever heard about the 19th century French actress with so many lovers that they formed a lovers' union? Or what about the Aboriginal Australian bandit who faked going into labor just to escape the police, which she did escape from them. It was a great plan. How about the French queen who murdered her rival with poison gloves? I'm Ann Foster, host of the feminist women's history comedy podcast, Vulgar History. Every week I share the saga of a woman from history whose story you probably didn't already know, and you will never forget after you hear it. Sometimes we re-examine well-known people like Cleopatra or Pocahontas, sharing the truth behind their legends. Sometimes we look at the scandalous women you'll never find in a history textbook. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get podcasts. And if you're curious, the people I was talking about before, the Australian woman is named Marianne Bugg, and the French actress was named Rochelle, no last name, just Rochelle. And the queen who poisoned her rival is Catherine de Medici. I have episodes about all of them.
Can you actually change your personality if you want to? How does peer pressure work, and why is it so powerful? Should you ever really trust your gut when you make a big decision? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and each episode of Something You Should Know covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. You'll discover things you can use in your life today, right now, like how to have a great conversation, how to be more courageous, the anatomy of the perfect apology, and much, much more. To date, there are over 1,000 episodes of Something You Should Know, and we've gotten over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. Something You Should Know, wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.